Hey YouTube, I built this frame for this Talavera tile mural. Handmade scrolls. Hey YouTube, got a bit of a challenge this week. I've got a lot of different projects going on right now, and we're trying to squeeze something in that honestly I'm a little skeptic about my abilities to do it the way I want to. But let's take a look at this. What we're looking at here is an example of Talavera tile. It's a mosaic deal where, you know, these are all individual tiles, and I don't know much about ceramics or tiles in general. The Talavera pottery and the Talavera style is attributed to the city of Talavera de la Reina in Spain. Eventually the process and style came to Mexico, and you see these things all over in the Southwest. We live in California. I've seen these things many times. Often they are, these murals will be set right into a niche or some prominent area in the wall. This particular one has been adhered to a piece of plywood. It was brought to me. What many of you may or may not know is that I was a picture framer, professional picture framer for many years of my adult life, and they want me to build a frame for this. Well, the frame they want me to build is what which I couldn't find any information on, but it's basically a wrought iron frame. It has a border, and then it'll have scroll work around it. And I'm not a big fan of scroll work myself, but that's the style that we're wanting to do here. So we're going to have to overcome and come up with some sort of a solution. But it was interesting that I couldn't find any history on the frame of that style of frame. What I assume, and again it comes from living in the Southern California area and the Southwest and stuff, you see it, and I've seen these frames before, like in missions and those kind of things, and what I assume is that craftsmen, the local artisans, were called upon to do projects for the church, and of course there was the local blacksmith, and they said, hey, look, we need a frame, and do what you can, and they would smith, use wrought iron and make a scrolled ornamental frame. So that's basically what we're going to do with this. I don't know whether I will use my little scrolling tool for the Harbor Freight fixture thing, or if I'll actually get our anvil out and heat up the fire and actually freehand form some scrolls, which would be more in keeping with the period of work. So, first thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to measure this up and actually get an idea of how big to make the frame. So let's get started. Alright, that's the basic frame. You can tell I'm not using traditional methods here. I just arc welded the thing together. This piece is grossly out of square, so we had to make the frame a little bit bigger in certain directions. So we've got a large gap here, no gap up top, hardly. Then this area that was broke out from somebody trying to pull these tiles off. And then over here we got similar kind of gappage. What I think I might do is, when this is all finished and mounted to the frame and such, I may come back with a grout and fill these gaps in, and just as though it had been always set in this piece. So for right now, because I've got it fit, what we're going to do is I'm going to take this and put it in a safe place in the house so that it doesn't get damaged out here. Don't want any stray grinder sparks or little red hot weevils hitting it. So yeah, so I'm going to go put that away, and then we're going to get started on figuring out how to do the scrolls on this. Alright people, it's the next day. We've got our fire going already. I got three irons in the fire. I just pulled out, cleared everything out of the garage so I could get started. The hard part is now I made this first scroll. It's not perfect. I'm not a scroll person. I'm not very proficient at it, but the hard part is I got to make 3 more exactly like it. And then I've got to make 4 more that the ends are more or less exactly like this one, and it's just going to be a little longer. They're going to be a little longer is all. I'm going to try and go through the individual steps that I'm going through to get this. You know, it's I'm learning as I go. So let's get started. Okay, our starting material is 3/16 by 1, and the first thing I want to do is I want to kill this edge here. I don't like it looking all machined, all mechanical, so we're just going to whack it a little bit. I'm going to kill these corners just a touch, because I'm not real fond of having sharp, pokey corners. So we end up with that. Let me go ahead and get another heat. Alright, warm. Alright, let's see if we can, what we want to do is start rolling that over. All right, starting to get a little bit of the start of our scroll on there. Scroll started, so let's go ahead and, what we're doing is going to keep rolling that around. twisty looking. I'm not sure why. Fortunately, at this point, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're not I'm just trying to get it started. Ooh, that's getting hot. Okay, all right. That doesn't look too bad. Good start. All right, so let's kind of cover what's been going on. So these, what I've got are got these here that are left. These are my longer, these are going to be on the side, the scrolls for the side of the frame. This one here is one that I made as a prototype. It's kind of it's my pattern. It's the first one I made. It took me a lot longer to make than those. I'd still starve to death if I had to do this for a living. I'm just too slow and too sloppy. But this one here I know is the right length. It's the shape that the goal. This is where we're going. And basically what I've done is on these, we just use the fire to get the initial little scrolls started. And the big ends here, you know, I've gone ahead and scrolled out a little bit. And now the rest of it is, I literally just take one of these guys and I get it on here on the little scrolling fork. Normally this is for my hardy hole on my larger anvil, but that anvil's not mounted in anything, so it likes to move. So I've just got a clamp here in my vise, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. Is we're just going to massage these into the right shape and get them to match the one, and then we'll be done with our scrolls. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's it. Wow. It's actually been a couple weeks since we finished this. I talked to the owner and we decided to go ahead and put the grout around the perimeter of the frame there just to finish it off. It looks much better that way, and I'm pleased with the way it's turned out. It looks right to me. It looks it's got a nice handmade feel to it. Of course, you know, I would starve to death if I had to make scrolls that way. But you know, of course, if I was trying to make a living at it, I'd have scrolling jigs and that kind of thing set up. So that's it for this video. If you want to support the channel or find extra content, there's a Patreon. There's a link somewhere. Another video in a couple of weeks. I'm not sure which one it's going to be, but I got a couple of things in the pipeline already. So anyway, till next time, bye.